Are you hungry but only have 30 minutes to meal prep? Then download my new e-cookbook, What to Meal Prep, at successfitnessstore.com. You will get 3 step-by-step written and visual recipes for one high-protein meal that's under 600 calories. I'll help you cook fresh salmon, steam fresh broccoli, and quinoa in under 30 minutes to help you stay on track of your fitness goals. So go to successfitnessstore.com to download your copy today. Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Christian Evans. This podcast is about helping improve our relationship with nutrition and exercise to achieve success in our fitness journey. And our special guest today, Novaaa, will help us do just that by sharing her story of how she faced the scare of premature death and a family history of health issues, but with the help of God, overcame it all to lose 122 pounds. Without further ado, Success Fitness family, please welcome Novaaa to the podcast. How you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm feeling well today.
Awesome. And we're bringing you on to the Success Fitness Podcast to give you your flowers and show you respect for losing 122 pounds, because that is not easy. It's not an easy feat. We can see these numbers, and because they can be typed easily, it's like, oh, okay, that's nothing. But being that I dropped 187 pounds at one point in time, I know each and every pound on how it feels to drop. And once you get to that goal weight, how you are still dealing with things, be good or bad. So this is why we bring you on, so you can share your story. But first, where are you from?
I'm actually from Detroit.
Okay. Detroit. Are you currently residing there now?
No, I've left about 10 years ago. I'm in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Okay. So how do you like it down there?
It's very home feeling.
Good. You found your home down there then, huh? Your home, your niche. What's the weather like today?
Pretty cool. Not cool like as in cold, but like cool. It's a real chill. I know it's in the 70s, maybe like high
Okay.
70s.
Okay, 70s is about 45 degrees here in Peoria, Illinois. I'm gonna start this podcast off with the question of all questions. Did you work out today? Or you gonna plead the fifth? You gonna plead the fifth? You want me to edit that out?
Oh, no, I worked out today.
Good. Good. Okay, we can get that. We can get into that later. But
Yeah.
speaking of that, what motivated you to start your fitness journey?
Um, Well, like I've shared with you, I had a few death scares around me, people that I knew they were just dying from heart complications, things that could be resolved, and I knew that that didn't have to be my sentence. That didn't have to be my life, and I was like, okay, there has to be a better way. I have to, and then I'm young. I was very young, and I'm like, this just isn't, you can't be like this, you can't be a hot girl living like this.
I got you. What were some of those scares that, open your eyes?
Oh, like I said, literally death. People were
Mm-hmm.
dropping like flies around me from ages mid 20s, late 20s, up to the early 40s. And that's no, and then there were women. There were black
Gotcha.
women, you
Gotcha.
know? So of course, like, yeah, this started as like a weight loss thing, because I was afraid, it scared me into the gym rather. And I mean that attempt then it didn't really work because I got overwhelmed with things, I came back, I circled back, obviously.
I got
But
you.
yeah, it was just women who I knew and they're my everyday life. They're here one day and then the next they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was heart attacks
I
in their
got you.
sleep, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, just dropping dead and family
Wow.
members. So I was like, it has to be something that can be managed. It's the weight, and
Mm-hmm.
stress and the environments and, all that other
Right.
stuff. I learned along the journey that it was far more than the weight. But yeah, that was a scare.
I got you. So how old were you, as far as age range, when that started happening around you?
23.
About 23. I got you. And what was your weight around that time?
Around that time, I think I had to be maybe like close to 290 pounds,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. And how tall are you?
The world is very large. I'm very short. Like 5 feet, maybe.
So you are 290 pounds at 5 feet, right? So how did that make you feel? How are you feeling at the time? Did you have any health complications during that time or any physical limitations at that time?
Yeah, limiting. I was very winded moving around. You know what I'm saying? Like just getting out the car, going up and down the stairs.
Right.
It everything was just like a huge effort. You know what I'm saying? Like just get up. I was like, why is this? You know what
I
I'm saying?
got you. I got
And then
you.
every time I'm going to the doctor, them, putting diseases on me, like, we should test you for diabetes and see if you're
Right.
pre-diabetic, or test you for PCOS, or do you have five, all this other extra stuff. And I was just like, I shouldn't be doing this at mid 20 something. This shouldn't be.
Got you. Got you. Got you. That was like your aha moment. You were just, one, you're tired of getting questioned, but then it's all right, it's kind of granted to an extent because you yourself were tired from walking upstairs or getting out of the car. So it's like all of these signs are pointing towards your health one way or another. So what was your first step in making the leap forward in your fitness journey? What was that first step?
I'm gonna say it was wondering what it felt like. That I mean, that's like it wasn't like a physical actual step, but that's like the first step in manifesting. That's exactly what I did. I would just be like, damn, I wonder what it felt like to like just eat some vegetables, eat a plate of vegetables, because I wasn't eating nothing, no
I
vegetables,
got you. I got you.
right?
What was
So
your typical diet around that time? As far as like what were you eating? What was like your main staples around that time?
burritos.
Okay. Taco Bell or
No,
homemade?
no, Willie's. It's this place down in Atlanta.
Okay.
Really good. It's like Chipotle, but way better, way
Really?
better.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, burritos, lots of heavy meals like Indian food, Chinese food. The thing I found, and I mean, we'll get there at the end, towards the end, but it's the excess of what I was eating, the fried food and eating whole entire Thai meals that's probably meant for two people or to be expanded over 3 days. You're sitting
Right.
whole thing of noodles and
Right.
you eat once a day. You binge and that's what you eat. And you eat this giant meal.
Right.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Right. Right. I got you. I got you. So you took the first step to, like you said, okay, let me try some vegetables first. What were any other additional steps in addition to that?
Well, yeah, first it started off with me wondering about it because again, I had to just spark it somewhere in my
Right.
head.
Right.
Then it was a few months after that, because the world entered into the panic or whatever. And that's when it really started. Because I was like, okay, I'm home. I can cook my food. Let's see what that's about, and I got on Pinterest and just started pinning recipes and it went from there. So the first step was because I also eliminated meat, right?
Okay.
So I started doing this eating meat once a day thing, and it will probably be for lunch or something like that, like chicken or turkey meat. And then, did I lose you again?
Nope. Nope. We're here. We're
Okay. All
here.
right. And then and then I would like make a vegetarian meal for dinner or something.
Okay.
So I started exploring my meals and my options. And I was like, okay, this is what I can get protein from. This is, salmon, shrimp, the fish, but then these vegetables, right? So when I went grocery shopping, I would just pick up two vegetables. That's all I started with was two,
Okay.
you
What
know.
were your first two? What were your two that you stuck with, or even your first two that you can remember the very first time you put some vegetables in your cart?
The very first time I think they were like, I don't know, it was some broccoli. It was just basic.
Okay. Okay.
It was it was real basic.
Okay.
It was some
That's the
broccoli.
foundation for like 90%. Everybody always starts with broccoli.
Everybody
Yeah.
start with broccoli, but you got to grow and expand past the broccoli.
True.
But
True. True. Because you will get tired of it real soon.
real quick,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it started there, and then, like I said, it just started to branch out from there.
Okay. 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 So what are some of your, or what were some of your favorite vegetables during that time? I want to concentrate more during that time before we hit the fast forward button.
Let me see. During that time, I was doing the panorama,
A
so
panorama, that's what you call it. So you began your, that's important to say. No, for real. So you began your weight loss journey, transformation during the pandemic, right? Or at the
Mhm.
start of it. I got you.
Very
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you realized you needed to make some changes. You had to at least have the idea that sparked in your head first, and then put one foot in front of the other. And then those steps led you to the grocery store. And instead of the cakes and the Thai food, you got into the fresh vegetable section, right? Okay, cool. So that's where we're at right now. So, what other vegetables did you pick up during that time?
Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, definitely with some kale. I definitely was cooking kale, carrots, carrots. But then I also started to go off into vegetables that can be roasted because that was something big that I found is when cooking, especially if you're new to cooking, start with oven meals, things that could just be sheet pans. And that's what I started with. So that's
True.
how I got with the broccoli, the sweet potatoes, some green beans, regular potatoes, things that could be roasted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I was with the roasting vegetables. Then when I got to over the stove, right? Then it was kale. Then I started playing with spinach, which is a big staple. Um, of course, carrots, sauteing those things. I love them. What else? Brussels sprouts every now and then.
I got you. I got you. Now, do you like splitting your Brussels in half or keeping them whole? Or
In
does it
half.
depend on your mood for the day?
You cut them in half.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on how I'm feeling. It
Oh,
depends on how I'm feeling. If if I have time, I split them in half. But if not, then those suckers are just getting roasted whole. Just like
oh,
that. Just like
oh.
that. I get a aluminum foil, kind of like what do you call them? Those foil bakes or whatever the case may be. Anyway, aluminum foil, a little olive oil, a little salt, a little pepper, close it all in. Of course, you rinse your stuff first. You got to tell people stuff step by step, or they're going to assume that you're just eating dirty vegetables. No. So I decided to close that up, put it in the oven. I think 40 minutes, 40, 45. It really just depends on the density of said Brussels sprouts, or it depends on I don't know. It just depends if how much moisture it does have in
Yeah.
there, or not. I got you. So Brussels sprouts, you leave yours or you cut yours in half. You cut yours in half. You're right, 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 right. What were you use a lot of olive oil, or like what was your method in roasting for those who aren't experienced in roasting, who are trying to take some cooking lessons from you? So how would you do it? Mm-hmm.
I drizzle them in oil. Yes, either
Okay.
olive oil or avocado oil, when you got a little extra coin, or the grapeseed oil,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
them about $10.
Yeah, what she say? She said extra coin. Okay,
Extra
everybody who
coin.
wants to just be like, okay, I'm throwing everything out of my cabinet. Hey, you gotta just wait a little bit because that stuff is a little bit pricey. It's a little bit pricey. So
Yeah.
while you were on your fitness journey, who or what helped you during that time? Did you have a personal trainer? You had mentioned Pinterest, but anybody or anything physical that helped you at all?
Tea,
Okay,
herbal teas, and meditation. So
okay.
that moved into that arena. That's
And
what
how
they.
did you get into that? Did you just wake up and say, "Hey, I just want some tea," or "I'm going to start meditating"? Were there books? Were there other friends who kind of say, "Hey, try this"? Or how did you come to that?
So with the tea, there was a book. Everybody's familiar with it. It's called Sacred Woman, right? By Queen Afua.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So I I didn't like go through the whole book or like do the gateways or anything, but I remember flicking through the book and reading about herbal teas and how they can just help you and how to make them. And the one that stood out was ginger tea. So in addition to my grocery store runs, I was picking up ginger, and that's what started it. And that was like I call it like my weight loss tea because
Okay.
ginger with mint, because I get some mint, fresh mint leaves and some ginger, steep that, have that every morning. It's good, good stuff.
Okay. 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 I'm a big fan of ginger root. I'm a big fan
Yes, me
of
too.
mint just as well. I shop at Sam's Club a lot, and probably about 3 weeks ago, they finally introduced fresh ginger root. So I got a box probably about this big and about this wide of fresh ginger root. I've been going to town with it. Period. Chop it up, or like you said, make tea. I have some peppermint tea I've been drinking for the past couple mornings. That's been good. But ginger root, either I'll juice it, or again, you know what I'm saying, I cut it up and I may put it in my water that I'm drinking throughout the day with some lemon. But ginger root, I'm a fan of. So I'm right there with you. So you had some ginger tea, and what else?
Yes, ginger, well, mint ginger tea. I had a lot of that, a lot of meditation. It was good stuff.
Okay. So the meditation techniques were included in the book that you had mentioned earlier.
Um, I'm sure there are in there, but me personally, I kind of went on my own.
I
I
got
just
you.
followed what I wanted because again, for me, that whole thing, Christian, I was at a pushing point with everything in my life. It
Got
wasn't
you.
the weight; it was everything. Like fed up with the money, the work situation, the people. It was like I'm not getting the results that I want and having the life that I'm so feeling I should have. Right.
Right.
So, of course, with meditation, it started off with me simply, I had a sunroom at the time, and I simply would just come home from work and go sit there and just start talking. Just
I
start
got you.
talking. Just opening my mouth and just start talking to God, talking to whoever's out there. And then I would try to meditate before I even knew, the awareness, things like that, just closing my eyes. And I'm like, damn, it's so noisy in here.
Right. Right.
It's so noisy. It's so damn noisy. And in meditation, I've learned how to turn that focus inward because I realized I was eating because I wasn't paying any attention to myself in a way of I wasn't really emotionally in tune or feeling myself, but I was doing everything else that everybody else said I should be doing or should be doing. So in other words, giving my power away everywhere, every which way, because that's just what I thought I should be doing. And the only way I had power was with those massive plates of food, eating all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely some eye-opening things that I just had to sit with.
I
And
got you.
the meditation, again, you learn as you keep going. It's awareness of the breath, and in that stillness is where sometimes I will receive messages and notes along the journey.
Mm-hmm.
That it's time to start movement, because I know you're gonna ask, but I didn't really start working out tandem with eating right. It was a process. I started changing my diet first over the course of like 6 months, 6 to 9 months. Then I added in movement. And
Mm-hmm.
then you gotta now we got them both working together. And I could tell you from just eating right, the body definitely changes because my body did morph. But once you add in exercise with it, and you pair that with a clean diet, wow.
Right. Right. And you know what? Most people do it flip flop, what you just described. They'll start off working out, right? Don't even think about eating because visually of what they see, and based off of that, it's what they've been taught.
Yeah.
They'll start doing a whole bunch of cardio, either running, elliptical, stair climber, whatever the case may be. May drink some tea, like you, but their tea is probably some
Weight loss.
detox tea. Yep, they got off of somebody off the internet who don't, let me not go there. So, let me stay on track. Like I said earlier, I can go full Kanye. I won't do that. I won't do that. But that's what they normally do, right? And then you're like, you got to eat right, because they come to you or come to me with questions like, well, why am I not losing weight? I'm like, well, you're only working out for maybe 30 45 minutes a day, maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, right? But what about the other 23 hours and 15 minutes we're not together, or you're not working out? What are you doing? What are you eating? You have to be able to fuel yourself properly before and after, and until the next episode, until the next training session, until the next workout, whether you're working out with me or whether you're working out by yourself or whatever. And that is the challenging part. So being that you took the I would say what would be the most challenging part, your diet, because you have to eat more than you're working out. You took that, changed that first. You took that, you changed that first, and then you incorporated working out. And so you said that was about like about a 6 month period by
Yeah,
the
about
time. Okay, okay, okay. And how much weight did you lose in that time, in that 6 month time, if you can recall?
if I let me make sure I got this right. No, 270. The doctor's 270. I went back. I was 206. Okay, so we could say like 60 pounds because I go.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was going to the doctor I go to the doctor every January, the OB,
Mm-hmm.
and she weighs me, and each time she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Because you're shrinking." Right. When I first seen her, I was about 270. That was top of 2020. When I went back at 2021, I was 206. So that, yeah, roughly like 60, 70 pounds in that first.
Okay, okay, okay. Excellent, 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 excellent. So when you did start working out, what workouts were you doing, or what type of modalities? And the reason why I'm asking you that, because nowadays it's nothing's new under the sun. So these type of workouts have been out, right? And what I mean
Mhm.
by that is when somebody hears working out, they may think strictly, dumbbells and throwing stuff over your shoulders and all this stuff or whatever, which is working out. But there are different types of exercises that can be classified or are classified as working out. So what was working out or exercise for you?
Mm. Well, Christian, working out and exercise for me started off as walking. Yeah, so I was walking every day. That is the one thing I was doing while correcting my diet, was walking.
Okay, good.
Then it escalated from walking to yoga.
So how did you get into yoga?
Okay, so one night, this is so random. I was just in the kitchen and I started doing this very complex yoga pose. And I was like, "Ooh, this is fun. How do you do this?" And I found it on Pinterest and seen the little pictorial. But eventually I set out some words, to God, and like, "Hey, I need a trainer or sorts, or a personal teacher." And that's where Ruby came in. Ruby is my yoga instructor,
Okay.
and she just popped up. Yeah, literally just popped up on my Instagram feed, and yeah, I've been working with her now almost 2 years, and I
Awesome.
meet with her. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
awesome. I
Awesome.
really
Awesome. Awesome. What are some of the challenges that you faced in yoga? I only have done one yoga session, and I don't know how I feel about it. I like it, but I can't find the video anymore. It's in my search history. I did an interview a couple years ago with a yoga instructor, and she sent me like some free stuff. And I wanted to try to get into a routine of doing it, but never got into the routine. But some of the stretches, they did help. They did help. So, with that being said, based off of my experience, how did those or that experience with the teacher, and how did that go, and what were some of the challenges that you faced in that?
well. I believe the biggest challenge was just showing up. Yeah, because yoga stretched me in the beginning beyond my bounds, just in my body in general, because this is my first time actually moving my body and working certain
Gotcha.
muscles,
Gotcha.
identifying properly where your hip bones are. I didn't know where your hip bones were
I
for a long
gotcha.
time,
I gotcha. I gotcha.
and those quad bones and those muscles down there. So it did stretch me a lot. And most times after a session, I would be dead tired, so tired, like my body would be so sore. Learn
Mm-hmm.
how to do just a simple, it's called chaturanga, but it's basically like a half push-up. So when you're doing a push-up, instead of pushing all the way up and your arms locking, with chaturanga, you stop in that pose where your elbows are bent, right? So
Got you. So you're probably about what, like 4 or 5 inches from the ground, and you're just holding
yeah,
that. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Yeah, that's like a pause rep. Yeah, okay. I'm like, no, that's a okay. I know what that is. I'm envisioning it right now. I know what that is. That's tough. And how long
yeah.
you gotta hold that?
Yeah, sometimes for a split second or
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
for a few breaths. It depends on
Okay,
what you're
okay.
doing.
I got you. Okay. I was doing some push-ups the other day, and I'm like, hold on, man. I'm like, if I was in this position right here, but I guess after time, just like anything, you get your reps up, your muscles start to be able to, hold that pose, and you can go longer, or maybe you don't struggle as much. But yeah, that's a tough pose. What
Yeah.
were some of the other ones? What are some other tough poses for you?
Let me see. There were right now a lot of balancing pose because that's where I'm at in my journey. So now we're doing lots of poses where you're balancing one leg, whereas the other leg is either extended, either behind you or
Okay,
trying to get to your head, or
I
when one
got you.
leg is being extended, you know what I'm saying? Like knowing that the strength of that left leg is holding you and making sure your weight and your core is aligned because that stuff is tough.
I
It's
got
tough.
you.
It's
I
very
got
tough
you.
on the core. Yoga is tough.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. So when you reached your weight loss goal, what was that feeling like? And when was it far as from the time you started? Was it, you know, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, or what was that time?
Um, Not really sure because honestly, I had a very minuscule goal. My goal in the beginning was just to lose like 50 pounds because I thought that if I crossed over into the 100s, right, that I would look sick or ill. I couldn't imagine somebody, me, what I would look like in the hundreds. So I even played myself and was like, I just want to get down to like 220 or something like that.
Gotcha.
At least 50 pounds.
Gotcha.
So I did come to that point, of course, at the beginning of 2021. And then it was like I just wanted to keep going, and keep refining, keep updating, keep trying new foods, trying new schedules, stop fasting, start eating breakfast, and, seeing what that did to the body. And I noticed how just more well rounded of a human I became, you know.
I
So
gotcha.
I wouldn't say like that was the goal, right? But then I just kept going because again I got addicted, and it was good and it was fun. And the best part about it, like in yoga, previous challenges or poses that were tough for me, like that chaturanga, now it's nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It's nothing. Those balancing poses, feeling my body lighter, it works in those poses. It makes a world of difference for you and your muscles, and moving and shaking is good.
I got you. I got you. So when you reached that 122-pound goal, what did you feel like when you stepped on that scale? I'm like, okay, I'm down 122. What was that feeling like?
It was a good feeling. It was like, okay, this is what life feels like, living in balance,
Mm-hmm.
eating the right whole natural foods, moving your body daily. This is what it feels like. So it wasn't even really about the number anymore, but it was all about the feeling and how good I felt.
I
And then
got you.
yeah, and then how good I looked, like, like I was like whatever about
I
the
got
number,
you. I got you. I got you.
you
How was it? How
know.
did it feel to start fitting into clothes that in sizes that you previously couldn't? How did that feel?
Now that was definitely surreal. It was a lot of like over guessing, because even sometimes when I would shop, I would pick up larger clothes thinking that would work. And then when I finally was buying clothes, one day I just bought like the same thing in three different sizes because I don't know what size I am. Let me just figure it out. And when I put it on like once in the medium fit,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Okay.
just it was like a wow, like damn, like okay, all right, we wear this. And it's just a new sense of new confidence that comes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, I can go in the store and buy what I want now.
Right. I can buy what I want. I don't really have to, worry about any of the things that I did, prior to that. So with your new body, your new sense of being and belonging, how
Mhm.
did you get into um how would I say this? How did you get into helping other people? Because I checked out your website, like I said earlier, everything looks great. Everything looks great, and you have it set up to where you are open to help people on their journey. So, how did you get into that? What made you uh, want to do that?
I I guess I no, I guess I know that this feeling, this feel good feeling, waking up every day, being in love with life and being excited about your life, I knew that it was something that needed to be shared. And then when I would go out into the world, people would just naturally gravitate towards me and ask me, what am I doing in my life? And these people would never seen me before, but they would just say, I could tell you're doing something. What is
Right.
it?
Right.
You know, what are you doing? Can you, then it opens up the door. Well, I do this and I meditate, or I do this daily. Then it opened the door. Oh, okay. Can you show me? Because I don't really know how to cook. I'm not sure what I'm out here cooking. Can you show me, show me what meditations did you use to help you stop overeating?
Right.
And and then it just flows like that. And then I realized that there are two different types of people out here. There's people who are going to pay thousands to look good, but not necessarily feel good. But then there's people who also would pay everything, the last thing they got, just to feel good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got you. And you fall into, or you attract, or you want to work with which one?
I'd rather work with the one who wants to feel good.
Good. Because those are more sustainable. Those are more what you would call long-term relationships with clientele. So, what major life lessons did you learn when you reached your weight loss goal that you can share with others who are looking for inspiration?
Major lesson, I would say. Mm, damn. I would say the major lesson is there's a lot. I would say just listen to yourself.
Gotcha.
Listen to that very little voice deep inside of you. And you probably would go against it. You probably say it's crazy, it's stupid, I can't do this. There's no science backing this opinion or this fact. Listen to that voice. The voice
Right.
that you question the most out of you, that's the one you should listen to.
Right. Right. Now, let everybody know where they can reach you at: website, Instagram, if they want to follow more of your journey and connect with you for some of your services.
All right, thank you. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Nova, and that's Wellness with, and I believe there's a period, Nova, and also wellnesswithnova.com. You can go ahead and you can book a session with me, a private session, or in the future there will be things to purchase for you.
Alrighty. And you heard it here first with Miss Nova. But if you found inspiration in today's podcast with Nova and would like to support, then sign up to the Success Fitness newsletter to get 10% off my new e-cookbook, What to Meal Prep for Beginners. It includes 3 recipes for one high protein meal under 600 calories, step-by-step written instructions, video tutorials, and also a free workout ebook. So you can click in the description box below. We'll have that in the description box or show notes, whichever one that you prefer to call it. And this brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. And thank you for listening. And when the pressures of life begin to weigh on you, the mentality of more weight must set in. The only thing those pressures can do is make you stronger. Hashtag more weight. And peace out.